Hey guys, welcome to another edition of The Watch Collector. My name's Ollie. Today we're looking at the Bulgari Octo Finissimo range and three in particular that to me stand out. Before of course we do that, the obligatory wristwatch check, and today I'm wearing the Chapek Antarctique Salmon Passage de Drake. So it's fair to say that I think Bulgari took the sports watch world by storm when it first released its Finissimo, Octo Finissimo range. As a result of having bought and collaborated with the Gerald Genscher manufacturer and originally taking designs by the legendary craftsman and adapting it and finessing it into something that is infinitely Bulgari, i.e. both Horology and jewelry. It created the Octo Finissimo range. And ever since its introduction, I think it's fair to say that it has not only innovated, but also broken records. And it has a number of records, and two of which actually I have in front of me. The first I'm going to show you is the Bulgari Octo Finissimo Perpetual calendar in its signature sandblast titanium finish, which the matteness just really brings out the over 100 facets of the case. But why is this watch so important? Well, actually, it is the world's thinnest perpetual calendar. The movement is just 2.75 millimeters thick. It has a power reserve of 60 hours. It's a manual wind movement, and just the lightness of this watch and the way that it not only plays with the light, with the matte, the contrast of the matte sandblast finish with the gloss black applique for the dial, the markers, and of course the display of the perpetual calendar, which in of itself features retrograde date. It's really something. So just think about that, 2.75 millimeters thick. We're going to throw them all on the wrist at the end of the video. Don't worry about that. So that's the perpetual calendar. We then have, and I'm afraid to say it, what was the world's thinnest tourbillon, but let's face it, it is no less a thing of beauty, certainly to my eyes. I know that beauty is subjective, but the color of the rose gold with the blue, medium to large, actually, I should say, rectangular alligator strap with the sunburst blue dial, with full rose gold markers, coupled with, of course, the tourbillon at 6 o'clock. This is a piece that, as I said, when it was first launched, was the world's thinnest tourbillon, and really, in my view, highlights just how seriously Bulgari takes its position in watchmaking today. Not only did it create what, as I mentioned, I think has now become a modern icon of an interpretation of a genre starting in the 1970s, it has innovated and really pushed the boundaries to say, okay, we not only do know what we're doing, but we're going to keep on making things that are going to be super special. And to do it with an application that is very rare. This is an extremely thin watch, and so to have that grand complication, bearing in mind these are all in-house calibers now. They're not bringing in movements from whether it's Bvlgari or JLC. These are Bulgari in-house calibers, and with its first tourbillon launched in 2004, here we are 20 years later, and it's making pieces like this. The last is, shall we say, a tour de force. Now, it's in its signature sandblasted titanium case, but this one is special. You won't notice it straight away. Normally, minute repeaters have a little, I don't know how to explain it, they have a little pusher shall we say, that moves either up or down. And it's quite usual in its application. This is not. You've got a beautiful symmetry about the case. Anyone seeing it from the first time is going to make the mistake that this isn't something special. It is. Now, the piece is 42 hours power reserve. What they've done is, bearing in mind the difficulty with working with titanium, to not only create the sandblasted finish, but to make sure that the sound comes out correctly, is they have actually created holes in the dial to allow for the minute repeater to chime in a way that is acoustically pleasing. I don't think I've seen another watch that has that, and I think it's ingenious in the way that they've utilized the stick markers as a way to bring out the sound. This is a manual wind, as I mentioned, 42 hours power reserve. All of these pieces are 40 millimeter in diameter. They all have a water resistance of 30 meters. They look like sports watches, but you've got to be careful with these things. You're not going to go swimming in them. I love the way that this, being a minute repeater, is actually done on a super sporty look with what's termed as FKM rubber strap, which as I understand it is basically a form of Kevlar. It's super tough and gives it, wow, just a super cool sporty look. We have a microphone here. I'm going to hold it to the microphone. I'll let you decide just how special this is. To get that clarity of sound from a case in this material is tough. So the way that they've developed that and the thought process they've put into it, nothing short of astounding. Let's see how these pieces wear on the wrist. So first, the Perpetual calendar, double deployant clasp, super secure, and as you'd expect, unbelievably thin, super comfortable. The way that the bracelet just melts around your wrist, easily one of the best out there. And to think, see how thin that is? That's the Perpetual calendar in there. As I said, 2.75 world record thinness for a Perpetual calendar. Then you have something not completely different, but a little different. Now, of course, now with the rose gold, you have a bit more weight to it. That beautiful alligator strap reminds me a little bit of the way that AP do their Royal Oak, although this is actually wider in the way that it flows into the head of the case. But wow, I mean, as I said, the combination of the blue and the rose gold, it's one of those age-old combinations. The colors work so well, but the contrast is just outstanding. And then, of course, last but not least, we have the minute repeater. Which I think just might be my favorite. Why? Because what I like about the brand is they're continuously innovating. And the reason why I say that is because they have adjusted the way that the strap connects to the head of the watch, and so it actually gives it a lot more play now, which means that even people with a smaller wrist are able to really wear the watch, whereas originally this was a bit stiffer. But this is by far and away my favorite, extremely subtle. Wow, you just would not know that you were wearing a serious piece of horology with this on your wrist. But look guys, that's three of kind of my picks of the Bulgari Octo Finissimo range. As you can tell, I'm a fan anyway, but what they've done, especially with these pieces and across the board, is nothing short of spectacular. I'd love to know what you think. Do you think Bulgari is simply for those who just want a jewelry piece, or would you agree with me that this is finally being recognized as a proper producer of auto horology? But that's enough for me today. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.